Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, you know, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family.
There was no sign of this. This is just...
You know, everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find...
To Sheila E. turned out to be the final individual whom Prince truly confided in. And now the rumors swirling around are claiming that she is at last revealing to the public the truth. Prince was desperately trying to shield us from and the reason Diddy allegedly wanted him silenced before he could do so.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in.
Here's the reality. There are fans out there who are firmly convinced that Prince was preparing to bring to light a truth that was far darker and more disturbing than just issues involving musical ownership. They say he was going to expose an insidious culture steeped in exploitation, strategic manipulation, and possibly even occult-like rituals within the entertainment realm. And guess whose name continues to come up in those exact disturbing conversations? Yes, Diddy's? Coincidence? Possibly, but now Sheila E., who had remained completely quiet for an extended period, is reportedly deciding to finally speak out, and the things she is supposedly saying are downright chilling. She is said to be claiming that Prince bore a weighty secret, something he was trying to protect humanity from, and that the burden he carried was something we weren't yet capable of grasping. For some historical context, Sheila E. first encountered Prince back in 1977 during a performance where she played alongside her father. By the early part of 1984, she had officially signed with Warner Brothers Records and began working on her own debut solo project, The Glamorous Life, in collaboration with Prince, who not only co-wrote but also performed on the title track. She was also the opening act for Prince during his legendary Purple Rain tour spanning 1984 to 1985. Soon afterward, Sheila E. joined Prince's own label, Paisley Park Records. Beyond that, she played the role of musical director for Prince's Sign All the Times and Love Sexy tours. Her contributions extended throughout the 1980s across numerous tracks and albums. She also made appearances in his concert film, Sign O' the Times, joined him at the Brit Awards, and even hit the road with him again around mid-2007. But now comes the part that truly raises eyebrows. Aside from creating some of the most timeless music of the 80s and 90s, Sheila E. and Prince were said to have shared an extraordinarily deep and personal connection, one that fans continue to speculate about even today. During one live performance, Prince reportedly fixed his gaze on her from across the stage and mouthed two unforgettable words: "Marry me." This moment wasn't choreographed or pre-arranged, it was spontaneous and heartfelt. And, according to reports, they even got engaged for a short while afterward, though they ultimately never tied the knot.
You know, you were in a relationship with Prince. He even proposed to you. How did he do it?
It was during the Sign of the Times tour, and there are many songs that were like really emotional to me when we played, and Purple Rain was one of them. So playing that song and playing drums, I just love playing that song. And next thing I know, he's taking his solo, and as I opened my eyes, he was turning at the same time that I opened my eyes, and he's taking his solo, and he turns to me and he said, "Will you marry me?"
While it has been reported that Sheila E. and Prince hadn't communicated for approximately 5 years leading up to his passing in 2016, this apparent rift was supposedly due to revelations in her autobiography The Beat of My Own Drum, which detailed aspects of their romantic history. But what if I told you those reports might not be entirely accurate? According to individuals close to both of them, they actually rekindled their connection in the final stretch of Prince's life. And during this time, Prince is rumored to have confided in Sheila E regarding some very disturbing elements within the music industry and some highly unsettling information involving Diddy. Let's consider this. Prince had always issued strong warnings about powerful individuals in the entertainment business, people who pull the strings from behind the scenes, control artists' narratives, and silence dissenting voices. Could Diddy have been one of those shadowy figures? Absolutely. Everyone knows how intensely Prince fought for musicians to receive fair compensation and full control over their creative work.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life, and one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
Elaborate. Prince was officially signed to Warner Music in 1977 when he was merely 18 years old. Even though the records he put out between 1978 and 1981 weren't immediate commercial successes, Warner kept him under contract because he was viewed as a rare talent who embodied the kind of long-term artistry the company wanted to support. By 1982, a year following MTV's debut, Prince had released more music and broken into the US top 10 for the very first time. He became part of a new wave of artists who fully grasped how music videos could serve as a dynamic marketing tool and help shape an artist's lasting image and mythology. As his influence expanded, Prince launched his own label, Paisley Park Records, which had partial financial backing from Warner and utilized the company's distribution channels. However, by this stage, Prince had begun drawing attention to the fact that his label was underpaying him and taking undue advantage of his work.
That's your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
We are discussing the exact same Warner Brothers that also backed Diddy. He had struck a business arrangement that provided the company with a 50% ownership stake in his Bad Boy Records label. Under that partnership, Warner took charge of marketing and managing both digital and physical distribution of Bad Boy's catalog across the globe. The roster of artists included big names like Maze, Mario Winans, the Notorious B.I.G., and of course Diddy himself. While reflecting on this collaboration, Diddy once stated, "Many boutique record labels have come and gone, but we're still here." He emphasized that they had the appropriate financial resources, infrastructure, and allies to maintain dominance in the music business. But the disturbing reality is that the very same way Warner mistreated Prince and countless other musicians was mirrored in how Diddy reportedly treated his own artist. Take Lil Jerome as an example. When asked whether it was his decision to part ways with the label, Jerome explained, "It was really a mix of pressure from the industry and personal growing pains. I suffered a nervous breakdown and Puffy thought it best not to continue the project." Essentially, Jerome didn't choose to leave Bad Boy. The situation was forced upon him. According to him, he already had approximately 13 finished songs ready to go before his breakdown occurred. And how did Diddy react? He cast him aside without hesitation. Similarly, Carl Thomas explained that the reason he walked away from Bad Boy was because after his brother's death, Diddy waited only a week before calling him and asking when he'd be back in the studio, like he hadn't just suffered a major loss. Then there's Biggie, who according to Diddy's former bodyguard Jen Deal, had plans to depart Bad Boy Records and sign with another label offering a better deal. After Biggie's death, Diddy allegedly pushed Bad Boy employees to ramp up marketing efforts for Biggie's posthumous album Life After Death, obsessing over achieving top chart positions, acting as though the tragedy had no emotional impact on him whatsoever. Before Diddy faced any lawsuits, he stirred attention by abruptly announcing that he would return publishing rights to current and former Bad Boy artists. At the time, Aubrey O'Day voiced concerns about the legitimacy of this offer. She said she had received paperwork months in advance and noted that other artists were approached with similar offers, but under one critical condition. Essentially, to receive what they were owed from the Sony acquisition of the catalog amounts that ranged from several hundred to around $900, they had to relinquish the right to sue and sign a non-disclosure agreement. This NDA would legally prevent them from ever speaking negatively about Diddy, Bad Boy Records, Janice Combs, Justin Combs Music, or Sony EMI in public. So in reality, what looked like a generous gesture was simply another example of manipulation. And silencing tactics. Sources claim Prince had been observing all of this quietly long before the public caught on. And if he revealed even a fraction of this knowledge to Sheila E., it's understandable why she might be choosing to speak up only now. The story Prince took to his grave might finally be catching up with the individuals he had tried to warn us about. According to several insiders, Sheila E. has said that Prince saw the industry for what it truly was years before most of us even suspected anything. He warned of artist exploitation, creative theft, and how the system devours people and discards them. He famously called it modern-day slavery and didn't hesitate to accuse record labels of stealing legacies. He had even wanted to expose specific names. In more recent times, Sheila E. has always spoken about Prince with dignity and poise. But now, almost a full 10 years after his passing, she appears to be offering more revealing remarks. She has suggested that Prince bore a spiritual weight one he rarely spoke of openly. People close to her have hinted over the years that Prince didn't just talk to her about personal struggles, but also about the sinister direction he believed the music business was heading. He wasn't just battling for control of his own masters, he was trying to dismantle a larger corrupt system. He warned that major figures within the industry had godlike control over artists' lives and careers. And now, with a string of new scandals shaking the music world, especially surrounding Diddy's growing legal issues, people are beginning to put the puzzle pieces together. What's even more chilling is that Prince appeared to sense his end was near. A few days before his death, he posted an image of himself with a caption that has since been deleted, saying, "Just when you thought you were safe," at what turned out to be his final event at Paisley Park. Shortly after undergoing medical treatment, he reportedly told guests, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Tragically, just as he foreshadowed, Prince was discovered unresponsive at his Minnesota estate at age 57. Medical reports concluded he died from an accidental overdose of fentanyl after unknowingly ingesting counterfeit Vicodin laced with the powerful synthetic drug. But even Sheila E. questioned that conclusion, saying it didn't make sense. We must ask again, was Prince's untimely death merely a tragic ending to an extraordinary life, or is there a deeper, darker truth lurking beneath the surface? Is Sheila E. finally preparing to deliver a truth bomb? And just how deep does this tunnel go when it comes to Diddy? Share your thoughts in the comments. Are we connecting threads that were never supposed to intersect? Or have we uncovered a hidden reality that's been right in front of us all along?